Darkness peeled away in layers. Alex Caden's breath hissed from dry lungs as cryogel sloughed from his chest. Cold air rushed in like a slap. Muscles screamed with a familiar ache. Waking wasn't rebirth. It was re-entry. The chamber hissed open. Sterile light sliced through the shadows, revealing a face he hadn't seen in 17 years. Director Elena Voss. She hadn't aged. Same steel-gray eyes, same surgically restrained demeanor. Only the insignia on her collar had changed, now marked with a black triangle edged in gold. A symbol not found on any public registry. "Welcome back, Wraith." Caden didn't reply. He sat up, wiped his mouth, and flexed his fingers. They still worked. That was something. He glanced around. Bare walls, reinforced floor, one camera. Underground. Off-grid. No clocks. No windows. "How long was I out?" His voice was sandpaper. "Classified," Voss said. "What matters is that you're needed." He swung his legs over the edge. "So Earth finally ran out of options." Voss didn't smile. "We've been summoned to the Vrex Crucible. Refusal means forfeiture of Soul's Jump Gate, along with Earth's trade rights and diplomatic protections. The Serix Dominion forced the vote." Caden blinked. "And no one in the Defense Command has the stones to step in? Our best soldiers are too valuable to lose. You, on the other hand, don't exist." "Exactly." He stood. The floor was cold. "Why me?" Voss tapped a tablet and brought up a projection, a massive arena orbiting a red star, bleachers stretching for kilometers. A combatant's helmet, part bone, part iron, spun in slow motion, its surface slick with dried blood. "They expect us to send a glorified wrestler. A symbol. We're sending something else. A ghost." Caden watched footage of past matches. Monsters with scales, claws, fire-breathing or telekinetic. He saw a human once, shattered in under 12 seconds. "The Crucible isn't just sport," she said. "It's cultural. Religious, even. The galaxy settles its wars through champions. They want a show. They'll get one. You'll have some tech. A drop suit. No external weapons unless authorized by Arena Code. You'll be alone. No backups. No evac." He didn't flinch. She paused. "You know what's at stake." He did. Earth wasn't strong enough yet to fight in the open. One diplomatic humiliation could start a chain collapse. Alliances lost, sanctions triggered, outer colonies seized. All because Earth wasn't taken seriously. Still, there were questions. "Why now? Why me?" Voss looked at him for a long moment. "Because no one fights like you. Not to win. Not for glory. You fight to end things." The briefing room. Clean lines, silent screens, a glowing blue hologram of the Calthor expanse rotating above the center table. Voss walked him through the data. "Your opponent won't be revealed until you're on site. We believe Kavarak will take the final match. He's undefeated in 23 cycles." Caden crossed his arms. "How does he win?" "Precision. Brutality. He believes strength is purity. You'll be tested from the start, probing fights meant to wear you down. They think we don't last long." "They're right," he said. "Most don't." Voss hesitated. "We pulled your records. Recovered your neural maps. You've done things that most of our newer agents would break under just remembering." He gave her a sideways glance. "You sound concerned." "I'm not. I'm angry it came to this. But you were made for it." "Not made. Broken in." Recovery hall. Caden ran drills in silence. His body responded, slower than it used to, but he adjusted. Balance over speed. Control over power. He practiced holds, knife counters, environmental leverage. Breathing in 4 counts. Mind blank. The drop suit clung to him like second skin. Black mesh, reactive weave, subdermal shock suppression. No HUD. No AI assistance. Wraiths didn't get companions. In a quiet moment, he caught his reflection. Hardened jaw, grizzled stubble, a scar across his left eye that never fully healed. He didn't look like salvation. He looked like unfinished business. Departure Bay. The transport was already fueled. Silent, angular, not military. No flags. Voss handed him a chip. Encrypted comms. Self-destructs after one use. Only call if you need to say goodbye. He pocketed it without comment. Any last requests? Kaidan looked up at the stars. Yeah. Don't write a memorial. We never wrote the first one. A rare flicker passed between them. Regret, maybe. Memory. Then it was gone. He boarded the craft. Before the ramp sealed, he paused. Turned back just enough to say, "Don't trust anyone on the council. They'll let Earth burn if it keeps the peace." Voss nodded. Then burn brighter than them. Final scene, en route. The stars blurred into streaks as the ship jumped. Kaidan sat alone, watching footage of past champions. He saw aliens tear each other apart with claws, teeth, gravity hammers. None of them thought. None of them planned. They overwhelmed. He watched. He learned. He didn't need to be stronger. He needed to last. And when they thought he'd broken, he'd show them what humanity was built for. Not survival. Escalation. Come on then, he murmured to the stars. Let's see if monsters bleed. The Kalthor expanse hung like a weaponized cathedral above a dying red star. Kaidan's shuttle glided toward the arena's docking bay, an obsidian maw ringed with rotating spikes. Inside, ships from 100 species pulsed with engines that glowed like breathing animals. The broadcast towers flickered constantly, streaming anticipation across half the galaxy. As the hatch opened, the air hit him, heavy, metallic, laced with ozone and something faintly organic. He stepped out, silent, measured. A spindly, multi-eyed drone floated toward him. Its chrome plating gleamed under the hangar lights. Welcome to the Vrex Crucible, Terran Delegate. I am Skit, assigned liaison drone. You are disappointingly symmetrical. Kaidan arched an eyebrow. I'll try not to offend your aesthetics. Skit beeped. Sarcasm detected. Mildly pleasing. The corridors beyond were massive, designed for beings much larger than human. He passed a serpentine warrior with translucent skin, two dueling insectoids speaking in vibrating clicks, and a quadrupedal brute chewing on something that was probably sentient. None spared him more than a glance. Earth's champion, to them, was a sideshow. Skit led him through reinforced gates into the gladiator preparation chamber. Half observation deck, half zoo enclosure. Alien nobles stared through the glass walls with morbid fascination. One whispered, "He'll die screaming." Kaidan ignored them. The briefing. Skit pulled up a projection, a skeletal layout of the arena floor. Rules are simple, one-on-one. No external aid. Fight until surrender, incapacitation, or death. Most opt for the third. What's the terrain? Randomized. This cycle favors environments that simulate predator biomes. Expect lava channels, unstable platforms, and collapsing architecture. Audience enjoys surprise. Kaidan watched the floor morph in real time. That gave him a 60-second window between entry and configuration lock. He made a note to move fast. Pre-fight chamber. The door sealed behind him with a thunderous hiss. Kaidan stood in the shadows, listening to the roar outside. His drop suit tightened slightly, adjusting to his vitals. He flexed his hands, each movement crisp, trained. Across from him, another gate opened. Steam hissed out, and Gerhak of the Nuskari brood stomped into view. 4 arms. 2 tusks. A bone-plated hide and serrated great axe longer than Kaidan's body. The crowd howled approval. Skit's voice whispered through a private channel. Gerhak devoured 2 previous opponents. One was a rock-bodied Gladhax. You're made of much softer meat. Encouraging. You're welcome. The match begins. The arena shifted underfoot. Metallic tiles slid apart to reveal a shifting floor of hexagonal plates, each one rotating or dipping unpredictably. Lava surged below. Heat shimmered through the air. A loud chime rang. Gerhak charged. Kaidan moved sideways, slipping under the first swing. Sparks flared as the axe slammed into the tiles. Kaidan kept low, pivoting behind the beast. He aimed 2 punches at a tendon just above the rear knee. The impact staggered Gerhak half a step. It wasn't enough. The second swing came faster, horizontal. Kaidan leapt backward, the blade grazing his shoulder guard. Alarms flared in his drop suit. Not breached, yet. The tiles beneath him spun. He rolled left just as Gerhak stomped down. Kaidan landed near a panel pulsing faint blue, power conduit. He yanked a tool from his belt and jammed it into the slot. Sparks flew. He looped a wire around the tool's handle and twisted. Across the arena, electromagnetic stabilizers flickered. Gravity stuttered. Gerhak stumbled, caught mid-swing. Kaidan launched himself forward, slammed his elbow into the creature's throat, then drove a boot into its jaw as they both fell onto a slanted plate. He grabbed Gerhak's axe with both hands, using the creature's own momentum to lever the weapon downward, right into the power conduit. The blade struck metal. The entire tile erupted in sparks and fire. Gerhak screamed, a raw, beastly sound. Electricity surged up the axe, through his arms, cooking him from the inside. The arena fell silent. Smoke curled from the body. Kaidan stood, chest heaving, drop suit blackened. Aftermath. The med drone scanned him as he walked back into the prep corridor. No serious injuries. Skit hovered beside him, spinning slowly. Unexpected outcome. My betting pool is ruined. I'm not here to decorate your spreadsheets. Noted. They passed a monitor showing highlights from the match. Kaidan's profile now carried a label, Anomaly. Unpredicted. Dangerous. In the viewing booth high above, Kavarak watched the screen with his arms crossed. His third eye blinked once, then narrowed. He calculates. Unlike the others. An advisor beside him scoffed. A fluke. The next fight will correct this. Kavarak didn't answer. He stared longer. Interested. The holding cell? The cell was barely larger than a transport crate. A rehydrated meal pack sat untouched on the tray. Kaidan sat cross-legged, breathing slow. The flickering light above gave the space a rusted look, like a dying sun bleeding into iron. He opened the tablet they'd given him. A blank message screen pulsed. Would you like to record a statement? He stared at it for a long time. To whoever watches this after I'm gone. He began, voice calm. You were wrong about humans. His thumb hovered over the end button. He looked at his burned glove, flexed the fingers again. We don't fight for blood. Or gods. Or power. Beat. We fight because we weren't supposed to survive. Click. The lights in Kaidan's cell flickered. Then the oxygen cut. No warning. No alarms. Just silence, then pressure, an invisible hand tightening around his lungs. He stood fast, heartbeat steady, assessing. Tampering. The ceiling vent was sealed. Backup filtration offline. He dropped to a knee, slipped open a panel near the cot, and ripped a coolant pipe from the wall. Pressing his mouth to the icy valve, he inhaled through clenched teeth. Frost burned his lips, but it bought him 30 seconds. A shadow passed the cell window, too tall for security personnel. Definitely not arena staff. Skit, he rasped through the communicator. I've got a breach. Static. Then, unscheduled maintenance error, correction in progress. Possibly deliberate assassination attempt. Probability, 87%. Nice of you to narrow it down. Please survive. You owe me credits. And I'm emotionally attached to your improbable existence. Kaidan jammed his elbow into the wall beside the door. Pain flared, his cybernetic brace sparked. He yanked out a thin cable hidden in the wiring harness and bridged it to the security plate. His dropsuit's diagnostic lens flickered to life. He rerouted current through his own biometrics. The door groaned, hissed, then slid open. Air rushed in. He didn't wait for explanations. Maintenance corridor, 0400 local time. The hallway stank of coolant and lubricant. No guards. No cameras. Too clean. This wasn't negligence, it was a corridor cleared on purpose. At the next corner, a Serix enforcer lay face down. Blaster burned through the chest. Not Cadence work. Someone else wanted him alive, someone playing both sides. His comm pinged. Skit's voice, tighter than usual. You're trending. Viewership spike. Gerhak's death went viral across 3 systems. You're affecting betting markets. Cadence stopped beside a maintenance access terminal. What markets? Private ones. The Crucible is sacred to many, but lucrative to a few. Your win damaged several long odds pools. Some elite syndicates now stand to lose power, influence, or worse. So someone rigged my cell. Correct. He plugged into the terminal, pulled arena schematics, and traced the feed pathways. Betting algorithms connected directly to predictive combat engines. Whoever controlled the outcome, controlled the economy beneath the pageantry. He smiled grimly. Then he wrote a virus. Apex Lounge, observation deck. Kavarak stood by the window, watching the arena floor below cycle through simulations. Environments flickered, toxic swamps, gravity chambers, glass mazes. His claws flexed. What's the human doing now? He asked without turning. A holographic analyst reported. He's in the maintenance sector. Hacked a terminal. We're losing telemetry in those nodes. Kavarak exhaled. Not in frustration, interest. He fights systems. Not just opponents. Arena Match 2, Prelim. The next chamber was colder. The announcer's voice thundered across the arena. Earth's ghost now faces Zirak the Mirrored Mind. Watch closely, spectators. This one will not bleed. The creature across from Caden shimmered. It had no fixed form. It studied him for one long second, and then took his shape. Same suit. Same scars. Same stance. Except its eyes were wrong, perfect mirrors. No soul behind them. The gong struck. Caden moved. His double mirrored each step, each jab, each roll. It wasn't mimicking, it was sinking down to the breath. His strikes landed only to be countered by identical ones. And then it changed. The mimic flickered, then took the form of Lieutenant Rios, Caden's old squad mate from Indigo Ash. Don't leave us behind, Alex, she whispered in his voice. Caden froze. The image twisted, now Sergeant Halvik, blood pouring from his temple, reaching for a phantom rifle. It wasn't supposed to go like that. The arena blurred. No. He shut his eyes, dropped to one knee, pressed his gloved hand to the floor. Metal, not memory. He blinked the hallucinations away. This isn't real, he growled. The mimic charged. He didn't fight it. He waited. At the last second, he sidestepped and let the creature slam into a spinning platform. The force knocked it off balance. He jumped atop it and jammed 2 retractable needles into its back, his suit's emergency stimulant injectors. Overload. The mimic spasmed, convulsed, twisted through 3 shapes, himself, a child, then something alien and skeletal, before collapsing. The crowd was silent. Then erupted. Medical Bay, post-fight. Caden sat on the edge of the gurney, shirt off, bruises mapped like constellations. Skit floated beside him, awkwardly quiet. Match data analyzed. Neural toxins embedded in arena atmosphere. Designed to enhance psychic hallucinations. They wanted me to break mentally. They failed. Spectacularly. Caden looked toward the window, beyond which the arena continued rotating. How long until Kavarak makes a move? Official schedule says 3 matches. Council just voted to expedite. He wants you next. Caden nodded. Good. Why? Most beings ask for more time. Because he thinks I'm prey. Are you? He stared at his reflection in the screen. Face gaunt. Eyes hard. No. Earth diplomatic channel, encrypted ping. A static encrypted feed opened in his quarters. Director Alina Voss appeared. Tired. Jaw set. You're creating chaos up there. Isn't that what you wanted? To win, yes. Not to destabilize galactic politics. Kaidan leaned closer. You knew I'd go off script. We prepared for disruption. Not exposure. The Crucible isn't just sport, it's theater. If you pull back the curtain, the Council might target Earth to restore order. They fear embarrassment more than defeat. Exactly. Kaidan's voice lowered. Let them fear both. The channel cut. Final scene, Kavarak's quarters. The warlord removed his armor, setting it carefully on a rack of polished skulls. His advisor entered, hesitant. You requested early combat with the human. It has been approved. But we must ask, why now? Kavarak flexed a fist. His knuckles cracked like thunder. Because prey that fights like a predator becomes something else. He turned toward the window. And I want to be the one to kill it, before it evolves again.